There we go. I was like, well, what's going on here? I don't see my face. Well, that's because I didn't add it in. What's going on, guys? We are live. We had some streaming issues yesterday, so couldn't make it, but I'm back here today. Now, I'm going to be the first person to tell you that this is a slow market. Market's slow today. So it's honestly, this whole week has been kind of slow. We had MTC yesterday at the end of the day that got things kind of moving a little bit, but not really. I mean, it was a great move, but that's about it. So just letting you guys know, today's gonna be a slower day. Probably just gonna be chatting with you guys a little bit. I have very few trade plans, but I will say Wick Tickler said my wife is mad at me today for programming her GPS not to say recalculating anymore. It just says, what would Matt and Bryce do? We always go right because me and Matt are always right. That's the answer to that question. Hopefully, if her GPS is any good, it should kind of just go along with that. Always love seeing you guys here. Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to work on drinking some of this cafe, as they say in Europe. Today, listen, as I was mentioning, slower day, a slower week, really. Here's the truth, right? I think right now the government shutdown has just got people very uncertain. There's a lot of uncertainty in the market. When are we going to open back up? Jara said, tell Matt to not show up anymore. We are all disappointed in him. Listen, Matt gets up very early, and I think it's getting to him a little bit. He likes trading a bit in pre-market. And lately he's been kind of taking naps near market open. He's also been on, I know, a couple of calls the last couple of weeks. But when Matt joins back, we will welcome him with open arms. But I told him he needs to be taking a nap. He's tired. But what if the government never opens up? Yeah, I mean, it's not impossible. It's definitely not. Listen, I feel like it's probably going to, at some point. But this is the record shutdown. And you can get super conspiratorial about it if you want. I know for anyone that listens to Joe Rogan, Elon Musk was on the other day basically saying like this was they were trying to kind of force this shutdown to happen anyways. Listen, I don't know. I'm not one to speculate too much. Whoops. Anyway, though, yeah, listen, fake news. I'm not getting political. I'm just saying the government shutdown is definitely affecting the market. If it opens back up, great. I hope it does, because I think it'll help a lot of runners. You got to remember, right? You got to remember, stocks really can't do offerings right now. The SEC closed, right? They can't file for new offerings. So it's a little bit tough. El Jefe says, I like conspiracies. A little conspiracy is fun every now and then. Don't get me wrong. My favorite one, if you guys are ever bored, there's a really fun conspiracy theory about like the moon being hollow. That might be one of my favorite ones ever. It's a big floating spaceship. Oh man, you gotta have fun sometimes, right? I mean, it's a little, get the creative juices flowing. And the fun part is I'll never know, because I'll probably never go to the moon to be able to test that one myself. This is how you can tell the market's a little bit slow. I'm just talking about nonsense here about the moon being a spaceship. That is when you know the market is slow. So listen, we got a couple of stocks that are okay. FTEL was okay. It's given back all of its gains. ASST, decent breakout here, but a slower mover. Kind of similar with Hertz, to be honest with you, HTZ. Hertz is definitely a decent watch for today, I think. Got a little bit of a third-day surge pattern here. Big recovery yesterday. Too much range for me, I think, for how slow this moves. Yesterday, it proved a lot of range, but still not an easy mover. It's only moving like 15% a day, but that range is gnarly. And for me, like, I don't see a single area yesterday where I would have been like, clearly time to buy. So I assume it's probably going to be similar today. So yeah, in terms of small caps, we don't have a ton. BIYA was kind of trying to be the next MTC, sub-dollar Chinese stock. After hours yesterday, I don't love it. FTEL was looking good until the last 10 minutes, looking not good. ASST is okay for a breakout here, but really, again, like the breakout levels up here in the 180s. It's a slow-moving stock, trading lots of volume. Definitely feels like more of a swing trade, which I'm just not that good at. So, yeah, that's where we're at today. I'm just joining with you guys here because honestly, listen, I don't know. Oh yeah, I just lost my train of thought completely. That's why I need to be drinking my coffee a little bit quicker here. If anything, if anything, I joined you today to just kind of remind you don't need to take a trade if there's nothing setting up. If all this does right now is helps you be patient for the good trade, for those of you guys that again have that Trade Funder account, you're trading with Trade Funder, you don't need to take a trade every day. So if all we're doing today is really just being patient, waiting for the right setup when the market does get really hot, that's all we're doing. So what about Snap? I don't really trade large cap stocks. STGW, FTEL for morning faders. They probably work. They probably work. I don't have very high conviction in them. STGW, that's like a real company too. It's already faded a bunch off of its highs. Like it already kind of did the main move, in my opinion anyways. They've got earnings, good news. It's already faded a bit. To me, I would just expect that to be choppier. Why don't I study Iris or Jack system for swing trades? Because I don't really like swing trading. I'm not patient. I don't really care to be a swing trader. I don't get me wrong. I'll swing here and there on the right setups, on setups that I feel confident in. But like, I never like being that patient. I like being quick. I like being scalpy with my trades. It's what suits me. I talk fast. I eat fast. I trade fast. Not going to mention some other things I do fast, like drink my coffee. For those of you guys who had your mind in the gutter, geez, get it out of there. But no, it's what suits me. Day trading is what suits me. And I encourage all you guys to find what suits you as a trader. You can't swing in Trade Funder, right? That's correct. Yep, Trade Funder is just a day trading account. And again, I'm a day trader, so I think it makes probably a lot of sense for me to be teaching you here about that. But that's why I always encourage traders, who are kind of finding their style. Or if, let's say you have like a $5,000 account. Well, great. Now you got two accounts. Now you've got a swing account. You got a day trading account with Trade Funder if that's what you use. Me and Matt both trade with multiple accounts. I can swing in my one account. I can short in my one account. I can long kind of my bigger picture stocks in my Trade Funder account. So I've got an account that kind of serves multiple purposes. I've got multiple accounts that serve multiple purposes anyways. So that's what works for me. I know it works for a lot of traders. I notice a lot of traders try to swing trade in the same account they day trade out of. And the problem with that is you're always checking that position. And that, to me, is really tough. Yeah, I mean, listen, I get it. But here's the thing, too. So Larry's saying, do both. So you have the money, you've got the money, so get your cakes day trading and still make swing money on the side. I don't disagree. But in the same breath, I want to do something that I have a proven edge in. My proven edge is day trading. Like that is where my edge is at. It's for my particular setups. Listen, again, it's something I will do when the time feels right for it. But generally speaking, it doesn't speak to me the same. Now, there's a lot of benefits to swing trading too, but it's just like for me, day trading, it's where it's at. It's what makes me comfortable. It's what makes me great money. Now, I agree, though. I do always think there's, you should always, I'm a big believer in diversification. I put money into longer term investments, both the market, the overall market, real estate. I do other things with my money, but I don't feel like I need to do every single possible thing to make money. So in the markets, generally speaking, day trading and then really long term investments are what works well for me. day trading does have lots of kick. It does. It does. It's really awesome. I love day trading. I think it's phenomenal. Especially, those of you guys who are showing up here consistently every single day and learning how to do this the right way. I mean, it can change your life. It can truly change your life. Pardon me. I didn't have time to mute my camera or mute my mic there, but let's see. Yeah, really nothing popping up today. Let's just start it off now because I literally don't have a top watch today. ASST is the closest thing I have to a top watch, and to really call that a top watch for me would it would be doing a disservice. Anyways, yeah, let's just open up some Q&A. We'll watch I'm going to take ASST off. We're just going to watch STGW for fun. See if it gives a bounce of any kind. This honestly, this could be a short. If we get a big aggressive pop into the sevens, this should be an easy to borrow stock as well. Bless you. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. What do you guys think about breakout of the high a day? Generally speaking, high a day breakouts do not work super well. In really hot markets, they do, but most of the time, they're just not the easiest trade. My number one setup, I've talked about this before, multi-day breakouts. I'd encourage you to go rewatch some streams here. I talk about this probably 2 times a week. I get asked this question a lot. But I will say multi-day breakouts, the way I trade them is, trend breaks intraday on a stock that is having a really strong multi-day breakout. That being said, we haven't really had a whole lot of multi-day breakouts lately, so at least not really strong ones. So for me, there haven't really been a lot of those kind of A+ opportunities. That's where I go into a lot more of my just day one gappers. Yeah. Well, STGW, that's not looking like it's going to bounce. FTEL looks like it could. FTEL just keeps wicking down here. I'd be really careful on this. Just because it's trapping right now does not mean, in my opinion, that it is a long. I hate long stocks like these under VWAP. I wouldn't be surprised if we push somewhere between 360 and 4 and then just have a really hard stuff. So I'm not trading this long unless it really proves to me that it wants to be a good trade. It's my personal take on it. Beautiful. Liquid Steve took FTEL on the long side in pre-market. Yeah, I mean, this is a great, this was a phenomenal trade right here. We had a really nice, clean, easy trend break. Then this breakout here over 350. Really, really nice trade. And this is we talked about trade funders a minute ago, and we'll talk about them in a few more minutes. But the trade funder, you can start trading at 4 a.m. So pre-market trading is fun. Pre-market trading today was a little bit slow besides FTEL. There weren't really many movers. STGW and then FTEL were kind of our 2 main movers in pre-market. Normally we'll have 5 to 10 that at least try to do something. And today we had 2. But with that being said, with Trade Funder, you can trade pre-market. So for those of you guys that are looking to take advantage of some of these movers, it's a really great opportunity to be able to do that. FTEL, we're still trapping. Now we're trapping on the long side, trying to break out of this trend here. Really unfortunate. I wish we could just get something going right now. And unfortunately, even if we curl through here, I'm still, I try not to predict too much because that's really not the name of the game. The name of the game isn't predicting what you think the market's going to do. It's reacting to what the market does do. But it's also still important to have an idea in your head, a bias of that trade so as to protect yourself. And right now, even if we break out here, I would very much so expect a rejection near VWAP, that 550 area. We're starting to break down under trend here too. This is getting pretty bearish pretty quick. It is what it is. Yeah, we're breaking down here. Do we get a low a day break at this point? Yeah, there goes 290. It is what it is. Did we break low a day? 293, 291. We did break low a day. Ever so slightly. Ever so slightly. It's weak. That's weak. We talk about fake outs a lot, and this is one thing I like to look for, right? I really like trend breaks, but when we get a fake trend break, right? So now this is faking out on both sides quite a lot. I generally like to avoid choppy stocks, right? So we've got a trend forming here, and this is just what we call a wedge, a triangle. I call this a symmetrical wedge, right? And so this would be a little bit of a teaching moment for you guys here, right? Again, I've talked about this a lot before, but I'll bring it back up again now. When I'm going into a trade or when I'm looking for a trade, I like to look for something that I call confirmation variables, right? And so I try to start a little bit broader. And to me, what a confirmation variable are things that confirm a bias towards a trade. So that if I'm getting ready to take a trade, or even if I'm just looking at a chart, I do this subconsciously too. But there are things that are forming on that chart that dictate a bias. So, right, I'm going to start way over here, pre-market. We have a really big run, and then we get this big squeeze out. We start with this kind of fake high a day break right here in pre-market that ends up squeezing out. However, right, so this is pretty bullish. This is really bullish, this breakout. That should continue to send the stock very aggressively up. But then what we get is just this trend break right here. And from there, kind of the rest is history. It just fades off, gave back all of its gains. And now we open the market open the day here under VWAP. To me, that is very bearish. Something that should have been incredibly bullish is now just giving back everything. Okay, so far, really bearish start to the day. Very weak action. All right, so we're starting with a more bearish bias looking at this trade. Then we have a consolidation period forming here, right? So again, I'm already thinking this probably isn't the strongest stock, but it can prove itself. However, we start getting these wicks right here. Generally speaking, wicks like these are a little bit more bullish. They're trapping shorts who are thinking that this thing's just going to go lower. We call this like an opening print boy style trade. That's kind of the Twitter term for it, where you just short the market open and hope that it goes lower. Oh, but it starts to recover. We wick back really aggressively. Whole dollar break, recovers. Whole dollar break once more, recovers. Great. Now we break out of our trend right here. We break to the upside of this trend. Generally speaking, that's bullish. We're breaking out of this trend. Except that as soon as it breaks out of the trend, it instantly fails. And so now not only are we leaning bearish, but the fact that it failed a bullish sentiment makes it even more bearish. I used to say this all the time to traders that I teach. The best longs are failed shorts, and the best shorts are failed longs, right? So a fake trend breakout becomes extra bearish. And then what we end up getting is a breakdown of this trend and then a breakdown of our fake breakdown. To me, this is now basically ultimately bearish. There's almost, and nothing's impossible. Could this recover later in the day? Sure. But in the short term, this is about as bearish as it gets. We break pre-market lows now. We break down our fake breakdown. We failed our fake breakout. We gave back all of our pre-market gains. So for me, these are those quote unquote confirmation variables that I look for when those are some of them, when I'm going into a trade or looking at a trade, trying to determine whether or not I want to take that trade. I'm trying to look for as many things as possible to dictate that bias. So I hope that kind of helps some of you guys who might be like wondering, Bryce, what do you look for when you're looking at a trade? How are you thinking about all this stuff? That right there is exactly how I do it. BIYA wants to run. Again, not going to say anything's impossible. And I mean, it very well might. But overall on this chart, I lean slightly more bearish. Slightly. And that's for a couple of reasons. Number one, the main this had no news. The reason that BIYA is running is because it was a sub-dollar Chinese stock, and yesterday we had MTC that did this. So it was just trying to be the next MTC. The thing went from 50 cents to $3 yesterday. Again, this BIYA doesn't have news. It's literally just trying to be the next MTC. And when a stock tries to be the next whatever, in this case MTC, it almost never works as well as the first attempt. Almost never. And so for me, for that reason alone, I'm out. Shark Tank. For that reason alone, I'm not going to look at this trade in a bullish manner. I'm not going to say I'm going to be bearish on it either. It's just, for me, it's a no trade. This really doesn't have a reason to run. And if stock doesn't have a reason to run other than that everyone thinks it's going to be the next whatever, I don't want to be a part of that. That's generally when everyone piles in one way, expecting it to do the thing. Very rarely does it do the thing, unless we are in a wildly hot market environment. Right? I should note that does happen sometimes. Where like stocks just work because the market's hot. The market isn't hot enough for me to like say, yeah, let's take this thing. It is trading a lot of volume, which I will say is good. Like that aspect of it is good. Yes. Whew. Well, I need more coffee. We're on the third espresso so far of the day. The third cafe. It's still not enough. I'm going to need a nap. I'm going to need a nap today. I also get up early. I get up early and get a workout in and get my steps in and everything. But today it is tired. Can you have the stock name of the charts like you normally do? I can't right now. No, because I have to use a different charting platform right now. My computer's been acting a bit funky. This seems to be the only one that's working right now. Thanks for the lessons, of course. Let's do a little bit of Q&A, guys. If you got any questions, feel free to ask them away. And do I like FEMI for the daily chart breakout? No, it's too slow of a mover for me. I do not. It should. I mean, it could work. It just like I feel like it should have broken out by now. And every time it tries to break out, it fails. Do I still use stocks to trade? I use it every day. I've got it up right now. I've got it up right now for my scanners and my screeners. It is by far my favorite scanner and screener. Where would you enter for ASST? I don't have a plan on it yet because I don't love it enough to actually take the trade. BIYA, big failure there. That's a big failure candle. MTC getting smoked. The fact that MTC is getting smoked too doesn't really make the best case for BIYA either. since it is a sympathy play. How's your trade funder account going? Good. Good. How do you distinguish if positive news is fake? So I'm not going to lie. I'm not the best at reading PRs. Like for me, generally speaking, if my thesis is quite simple, right? If if the stock is having good news, it will set up for a good entry, right? Like a lot of times fluff news just instantaneously is just not good, right? Like it'll spike quickly and then very quickly in the same breath give back all of its gains. If the news is good, the stock should hold up and actually provide for another entry. So the way I determine news for me really isn't even by reading it. It's a lot more by seeing how the market is reacting to that news. And yeah, by the way, BIYA getting smoked, right? As I said, when one stock tries to be the next whatever, it almost never works. And again, we were talking about fake outs earlier, right? Speaking of fake outs, look at this. Look at this fake high of day break right here. Just mean fake high day break. And then we give up that trend. It was nearly identical in the sense of how it did it to FTEL, not the actual pattern, but the premise of what happened, right? Tried to break out. And this is, by the way, this is why I hate high a day breakouts. This is why I do not buy high a day breakouts unless we're in a really hot market. They just normally don't work. It's just, they normally do not work all that well. FTEL consolidating down here. We'll see if this is another fake out. Does BIYA give up 50 cents completely? It's definitely looking that way. So we'll see if this is another fake out here on FTEL. It's holding up okay under 3. It's not terrible. Not terrible. Let's see. Okay, so that was my answer to that news question. How did you first start trading with when you gained profitability, and how did you grow it without adding money to it? I did add money to my account. I want to make that very clear. I did add money to my account when I first became profitable. When I realized I was being consistent, I added money to my account with the thought process of being, now I have an edge. So I should be putting more money into these trades. Just to make that clear. But yeah, when I first, I was trading primarily sub-dollar listed breakouts. So these were consolidation breaks, which honestly now, these weren't necessarily like day one gappers, right? To be very clear, these weren't like, I wasn't just buying the day one gap breakout here. I was waiting for multi-day setups, multi-day breakouts on these stocks. That's how I was personally taking them. We don't have as many multi-day breakouts right now. The pattern doesn't work quite as well as it once did, just because there aren't as many stocks setting up for breakouts in that sense. But there are always opportunities like that. It's just a matter of finding what the opportunities are in each market condition. And that's why I know some of you are like, well, Bryce, what's the opportunity right now? I'm not saying there aren't opportunities. There are opportunities. But this is why on days like today, I'm like, I'm going to take it slow because I don't see a ton of A+ opportunities for me. So I wait for the best opportunities to come. And right now I don't see a whole lot of them. Let's see here. I saw a couple of you guys talking about CMBM. We can get rid of BIYA. Actually, we can get rid of both of these. Yeah, CMBM not bad. This could be like a backside third day surge. I don't love it. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. I'm not going to take a trade on this. STGW will pop this up. This is bouncing a little bit of a fake breakdown there, right? So we got this trend break that formed. right here. And then we had this fake low day breakdown. So in the same way that a fake breakout is bearish, a fake breakdown is bullish. Are there any strategy / patterns you see consistently working in these market conditions? I used to love the dip and right, but the strong conviction plays just aren't there anymore. Stocks like STGW, again, like that fake breakdown does work well. Short patterns work decent too. And afternoon breakouts. They don't set up often, but like stocks like MTC, afternoon breakouts do work well. Just a lot more patience required. A lot more patience. Does your link to Trade Funder provide a discount? Yep. In fact, if you're looking at the description right now of this video, if you're on YouTube or Facebook, that link that's in the description is the link that provides that $600 discount. Bryce, do you use level 2 when trying to decide to enter or exit trades? And if so, how? I don't use it to decide trades. I just use it as like a little bit of confirmation. There's a big bidder that's not getting taken out. If there's a lot of hidden buying, then that's going to be a little bit more bullish. It's going to add a little bit to the bullish factor, but it's not the determining factor for me. How do you identify a multi-day stock? Generally speaking, it's going to be a day one gapper that holds up well. CMBM, for example, right? CMBM, this is one of the rare stocks that had a day one big gap up that held up really well. Like, for example, here, right? If we go back to, now again, we're very early in the day, but BIYA, we look at this daily chart. This is not a strong daily chart at all. CMBM held up significantly better on its big day one gap. So that alone, and again, afternoon breakout, as we were just talking about, just held up better. So generally, you're going to identify multi-day stocks later in the day. At the end of the day, what stocks are holding up well throughout the day. And then if it's a strong stock, it shouldn't gap down the next day. Like MTC, for example, right? MTC had a really strong day one, but then it gapped down today. Now, that said, right, this could still very realistically turn into a strong multi-day setup, right? 100%. This could hold up and then gap up tomorrow. But it's going to be a waiting and seeing game. Multi-day stocks require patience, both in identifying them and then also in trading them. Yeah. What do you think of STGW long for today? It's hard for me to take it under VWAP right now. Same. It could set up, but like right now, it's not setting up for me. Stupidest trader. That's funny. That's funny. Thoughts on DTCK? Stupidest trader said he's into girls. That's good. DTCK is a China pump. This is an avoid all the way around. One day, this will close down like 80%. It will probably come out of nowhere. So that's just an avoid all the way around for me. Not worth the risk, in my opinion. Saw someone talking about Works earlier. Works, nice. Very nice. Let's see. How do you size up the market's overall pre-market before you begin trading? Yeah, that's a good question. Again, so I like to look and see. Like, were there a lot of movers? Like for me today just felt slow because there weren't a lot of movers in pre-market. There's STGW and FTEL, both of which didn't hold up, right? So it's like a multi-layered answer here, right? Number one, are there a lot of movers in pre-market that should create a lot of hype? Number two, are those movers holding up? And if the answer to those questions are both no, we're probably in for a slower day. If the answer to one is yes and one is no, like maybe we had a lot of runners, but none of them held up, there could still be some spark. Or if we didn't have many runners, but they both held up very well. Like if FTEL and STGW both held up very well, it's likely we're going to get more runners at some point throughout the day, just because there's good momentum. But right now, not much momentum, not many pre-market movers or movers that held up. Yeah, BW is too big of a company for me. That was an earnings winner the other day. Looks like it's making a move. It probably is. Again, just too big of a company for me. That's not really my style of trading. That's not where I've got my edge. Works is getting very interesting here, by the way. Works is getting, we got this really aggressive uptrend forming. Oh, I'm froze. Am I frozen? No. Okay. Works is interesting. Very expensive borrows on other brokers. So I'm not sure who's being squeezed. I don't know who's paying for this. That's crazy. It's I'm not good at math. What is that? I can just do the math. I can pull the calculator. $0.02 a share for Works, which I know you're thinking that's expensive. Well, yeah, because if you want 100,000 shares, you're paying $2,000, right? So if you want to take 100,000 shares short, yeah, you got to pay $2,000 just to get the shares. That's an expensive borrow for a stock at this price. Normally, they're going to be like under half a penny. So this is interesting. I don't know who's getting squeezed out because I don't know who in the world is paying those borrows. I'm certainly not. Unfortunately, I can't buy Works here at this aggressive of an uptrend. It would need to really consolidate. I think best case for Works. So we just broke pre-market highs and are not continuing our momentum. I don't love that, to be honest with you. I think best case for Works is we get a breakdown of this trend and then consolidate and break out. Where we kind of trap shorts who are just hitting this trend line because they kind of got trained here on BIYA, where you just hit the trend breakdown and you get paid. Same thing with FTEL. You hit the trend breakdown, you get paid. I think what the best case scenario on Works would be a breakdown of this trend, but we hold VWAP and then we consolidate for a curl around. What's the ticker? WORX. Works with an X. Fat N. I know this ticker. Probably not. No, I don't like it. No volume. Ugly daily chart. I don't like it at all. You know what's interesting? LNAI is holding up. Speaking of multi-day moves, holding up okay. It's holding up over a buck. This is a kind of a runner yesterday. Afternoon breakout attempted. It didn't actually break high a day, but it was a nice VWAP afternoon break. This is kind of holding up. You know, this could be a third day surge tomorrow. This is a multi-day mover I'll be keeping an eye on. Yeah, guys, I don't really have a whole lot else. So we'll do a couple more minutes of Q&A, then I'll talk about Trade Funder here quick. By the way, I will I'll drop the Trade Funder link in the chat for those of you guys who can't see the description. For anyone that does want to check that out. Yeah, we'll do Q&A here for a few more minutes. If you've got any, ask away. I know it's a slower day. Days like today, patience is everything, though. I'm just not getting over aggressive. Do I like CMBM through squeeze? Not really. Not today. It could go. I'm just not super bullish on that. Do you ever have success simply just buying strength? In hot market conditions, yes. Generally speaking, no. Give me an estimate of when Matt will come back. I know you love Matt, Jara. I don't know. We'll whenever he gets enough sleep. He's not built like me. He also doesn't drink as much caffeine as me. Correlation. Listen, doesn't 100% mean it, but Matt likes his naps. Matt likes his beauty sleep. And he gets up early. He likes trading pre-market. Can't blame him. But again, that's what's beautiful of Trade Funder. You can also trade pre-market. You know, for anyone else that's getting on that early morning grind, how do I switch my screen share over? Yeah, for anyone else that likes getting up early and trading the hot action in pre-market, Trade Funder is a really great opportunity to do that. So I'm going to talk about Trade Funder here for just a couple of minutes. Do I trade pre-market? Yeah, I do. I do trade pre-market. I get up early. I get my steps in, get my exercise in that I trade generally around 7 a.m. Eastern time, and it's really great. STGW started around 7 a.m. FTEL started around 8:30 in the morning. They're really great moves in pre-market. Jack said pre is really hot right now. Other than today, which I think it was just the SPY gapping down, honestly, and a lot of uncertainty. But generally, man, pre-market delivers. There's a lot of great moves pre-market. I would encourage some of you guys to try it. Wake up. I mean, I know right now it's a little bit slow intraday when we're doing these webinars, but man, if you got a Trade Funder account, you can start trading at 4 in the morning. And there are 4 a.m. movers too. So yeah, that link that I've dropped in the chat here, I'll drop it once more. It's also in the description. Excuse me. Hold on. There we go. That link is also in the description of, if you're on YouTube or Facebook, it's in the description. You can click on that too. So that'll get you access to a $600 discount off of Trade Funder. Jara says, do you ever wake up and say, I'm glad I'm financially free? Yeah, but like I always say, there's more to be done. You know, I love what I do. I'm very fortunate. And this is why, for those of you guys who are trying to make a real career out of this, I do think Trade Funder is a great option, because I think I could have had this feeling a lot earlier had I had something like Trade Funder when I first got started trading. I simply didn't. But yeah, I mean, it's a really phenomenal opportunity for those of you guys who are looking to be real traders, be able to access a real big, like an actual trading account. It's going to get you access to $25,000 in trading capital. Your investment into Trade Funder is going to be $800 plus that $99 platform fee, and you'll get access to $25K. Now, as I said, I like to have different accounts for different styles of trading. I've got a shorting account. I've got a swing trading account. I've got Trade Funder for my long account. And so let's say you got like a $5,000 account, right? Not only is part of the problem that you're kind of risking all $5,000, it's also that you've only got one account. Now, what I would do if I was in my similar situation back when I had first started trading, I got started like a $2,000 account, but that account grew to like $4,000 to $5,000. I would have taken out that $800, put it into Trade Funder, and got access to a trading account here where I could have taken day trades. And then I would have used that other account for kind of more swing style trading or just other opportunities. If they're like really cheap stocks, if they're like 10-cent stocks, would have taken those trades there. But yeah, I mean, this is a really great opportunity, guys, for those of you guys who right now are working with one account or working with a small account. You're not able to take as many trades throughout the week as you would like. I just think it's a great opportunity. It's something I certainly wish I had access to. And, if you know me by now, I wouldn't be here doing this if I didn't think it was a great deal. I'm very glad that Stocks to Trade and Trade Funder made this partnership. It's also why I'm a part of Stocks Trade. I think it's a phenomenal trading education platform, and I'm really happy to be a part of it. I like being able to help you guys out because the truth is, on days like right now, I wouldn't be doing anything else anyways. Like, I'm not really taking trades regardless for the time being. So like, I'd just be sitting around being bored. At least I get to help some people while I'm here. Get to talk to you guys, have some fun as well. We get to shoot the shit a little bit. But again, Trade Funder, listen, for those of you guys who are looking to be real traders, if you're just looking to make a home run here and there and then risk it all in a trade, Trade Funder is probably not for you. If you're only a swing trader, you couldn't care less about day trading, Trade Funder is probably not for you. But if you're someone who's coming here every day, learning the ins and outs of trading, trying to do this the right way, I'd encourage you to at least click on that link in the chat. I've dropped 2 times now, and also the link in the description. It'll get you access to that discount. It's going to be $600 off of what Trade Funder would normally charge. So it's going to be that $25,000 account. They're not going to let you lose all 25 grand of their money because it's real money. They're going to be letting you lose up to $3,750 before they shut off your account. So they're basically giving you an extra $3,000 worth of wiggle room because you're only putting in $800. Now, Trade Funder, they make money when you make money. They're taking bets on you as a trader. That's why they've partnered with Stocks to Trade because we're a trading education company that has been helping traders become consistently profitable now for over 10 years. Their thought being is that partnering with a company like us is going to help them find better traders, at least a higher chance of success. So, they're willing to take a bet on some losing traders to find hopefully even more winning traders. So their profit split is one of the best in the prop firm industry. Normally in the prop firm space, you're going to see between like 60-40 or a 70-30 split. Here it's 80-20. So if you make 10 grand, they're going to keep $2,000. You'll keep 8 grand of it. And your ultimate goal, at least in my opinion, really should be to start moving towards a bigger account with Trade Funder. You're starting off with a 25K account, but once you start making money, once you start making about 15 grand, they'll actually reach out to you and ask if you want to trade with an even bigger account. I know we've actually had some traders in here in the chat who've let us know that they're now working with $100,000 accounts, which is super cool to see. Traders actually growing this fast, taking these lessons and doing it the right way. And on days like today, if you're trading pre-market, there were great opportunities like STGW and like FTEL to trade with Trade Funder. And then here at the market open, we dial back. Sometimes the best trade is no trade at all, just not taking a trade, not taking a loss. Tomorrow morning, I expect it to be very similar, unless the market has a big bounce back. The truth of the matter is, right now, intraday is a little bit slow. So if those of you guys that are getting access to Trade Funder, get up early. Get up early tomorrow and take these trades with us. There are some great movers in pre-market. But anyways, I've dropped that link for you guys down here in the chat. For anyone that has any questions about Trade Funder still, click on that link and then scroll down to the bottom of the page. They've got their support email right here, support@tradefunder.com. They'll get back to you ASAP. They're super quick. And then you can get started with Trade Funder by clicking this button right here. Get started in less than 90 seconds. It really is that quick. And they'll be able to help you out with any questions that you got. So what time do I start? I get started on this live stream around 9:15 to 9:20, but I start trading around 7 a.m. in pre-market for those movers. I notice a lot of news seems to come out around 7 a.m., so I find that to be the easiest time to start trading. So everybody, I'll catch you guys back here tomorrow. And I hope you guys are all having a great day. Hope you guys are all doing well, staying safe today. Make sure you click on that link if you got any questions about Trade Funder. That is your homework. Check it out over there. I'll talk to you guys back here again tomorrow. Peace, everybody. Have a good one.